Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Chrystal Lynn, Capital Astrologer, and I'm super excited tonight to be talking about my 5th video in my Ascendant Rising Sign series. I feel like this is a very important part of astrology. It really is the foundation when you're learning to read your own chart. So I'm going to be putting my 2 cents in tonight about Leo rising, or if you have a Leo ascendant. Now, to find out what your ascendant is, if you do not know, you do need your time of birth, AM, PM, city, and state. I do have a birth chart calculator on my website at cowgirlastrologer.com, or you can email me if you have a problem with that, and I can help you. But if you do not have your time of birth, a lot of times you can watch the video of an ascendant or rising sign video for your sun sign and or moon sign. And that will give you some insights because there is a very similar energy that plays through the ascendant, sun, or moon sign. But for the sake of these videos, I'm focusing on the themes, the lessons, the map that often goes before us. And it's up to us to learn to navigate those things. So when we understand astrology and we understand that these are certain challenges that we may face, I think it gives us an advantage to really begin to learn how to take those challenges on and become stronger from them instead of, wallowing. Because let's face it, we all have certain dynamics in our life. And I do believe that when I get into the Leo rising, this is really one of the most difficult, I believe, of all of the ascendants because of certain aspects that play out. And yet, the most incredible rising sign where we see, entertainers, politicians, leaders, I mean, amazing, amazing people that rise to the top. But they often have a very, deep family life, different things they have to navigate through. And we're going to be talking about those things. But again, we all have those. But when we get into this, we're going to find out where those challenges are. So let's start with the fact that the sun rules Leo. Leo obviously is a fire sign. The symbol is the lion. So when you meet a Leo rising, which is their outer persona, that's the first thing you're going to see is that powerful sun energy. When a Leo rising walks into the room, they are like stoic. They are regal. They walk tall. They stand tall. I mean, if you see a Leo rising woman walk across the room, it's just like, oh my gosh, the Red Sea needs to open because they walk with such authority. It's a really amazing thing because they don't have to do much. This is something that the Leo rising is born with. It's innate. It's as if, you were given a star on the walk of life as you entered in, your birthright. And it's up to you to figure out, what that is. But, that's why a lot of people in astrology are jealous of the Leo because they have that strong gift. It's a knowing that they're special. When we look into astrology, everything up in the universe revolves around the sun. So they can also come in with a very strong knowing that they're special and that they have to get stuff done. And to do that, things have to revolve around them so they can be all that they can be. See, that's the part that a lot of people miss. When we're looking into astrology, a lot of times we get our descriptions and we can put things in a box. We can say, oh, well, this is the Leo, and this is the Virgo, and this is the Scorpio, and this is this. But that's so, just scratching the surface of astrology. When we look at the fact that if we could tap into our powerful energies and we could work together using what we're gifted at, giving back and forth, exchanging energy to one another, what we could accomplish together. We're meant to work together. So it's a fine line, between, kind of getting that negative taste in our mouth about different signs. Yeah, we all have things that drive each other crazy, That's part of, you know, if we're all the same, what would just be so boring, you know, it's part of life, forces us to grow. So with this Leo energy, you know, this is someone that's going to take you to the top if you want to go with them because their heart is so big. So let's get into the houses right now, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the personality traits. We'll continue on with that as I'm going. So with the Leo ascendant, the second house is going to fall into Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So here, this place of values, this place where we can make daily money now, is very calculated. Leo risings can be amazing entrepreneurs. A lot of times you'll see them running salons or decorating, catering. They're excellent at bringing large events together, coordinating, being very detailed, very creative. Okay, so they're also very good at making a childhood hobby into an empire. Okay, that's that second house. A lot of times it's those values that we have when we're a child. You know, if your grandmother taught you how to sew, you may someday use that gift to make money. That would be a second house type of value. Okay, so Leo risings are really good at being crafty and making things work. Now, the third house, we have Libra, which is ruled by Venus. Now, this is a great place because this is why the Leo rising is so amazing in the community, amazing with their family, because Venus is there and they care so much about everybody getting together, everybody feeling special. They're the ones that love to have the holidays, the birthdays. They'll have all the Christmas decorations, the Easter decorations, Valentine's. They go out of their way. They're the ones that have birthday week, okay? Because they want everyone to feel special. They don't want you to miss a day that they can't say to you, you know what, you're really special. But they want to be special too. They want to be able to be appreciated, because you got to think of the lion. You know, he's not a loner. He's up on top, but he's looking over down at his pride and who he's protecting. And he's bringing the food back to him, and he's got a job to do. That's why it's not so much that the Leo rising is just wanting attention, just to get attention. You know, it's about an exchange of appreciation, because they're willing to give their life to you. They want to know you're worthy of that. So, you know, this is where that exchange is important. When you cut them off, you know, you cut off their heart. So one thing about a Leo rising or Leo, you know, if you've wounded them, you've rejected them, you've hurt them, you know, you've hurt their pride, you've humiliated them, you know, they can cut you off and like, what happened? And that presence that they were in your life, when it disappears and it gets taken away, and it's like super subtle and abrupt, and you're like, what happened? Like, you are cut off. And when that happens, that's because, you know, they cannot bear to allow their heart to be trampled on. They won't have it. They just can't. And they're hurting, and it may feel like they're just able to cut you off, but it's just part of a real strong survival mechanism. So you really don't want that. You want to be able to communicate there, and they want to be able to do that. Sometimes they can get caught up because when they're young, they do crave so much attention. I mean, it's just because they're here to entertain. So the feedback is important for their self-growth. So if you have a Leo rising child or a Leo child, giving them that feedback is very important. But a lot of times, if they don't feel like they got that from their mother or their parents or anyone around them, this is where that third house Libra a lot of times can get very tit for tat. You got this, I got that, you know, you got more, dad gave you more, mom gave you more, that kind of thing. Kind of the chalkboard syndrome. So that's more of the energy when they've kind of been neglected. It's not a happy sight when a Leo child, you know, has had to really, you know, suffer and not have that connection or attention or appreciation, because that's part of their development and growth. Not that they can't learn to share the stage too a little bit, but it is a very important part. Now, here is where things get a little heavy. We've got the 4th house in Scorpio. This is mother. This represents mother, security, home. Anytime you see Scorpio in your chart, you want to take a look at what is it activating? And I've seen this play out in a lot of different ways. I've seen this play out, you know, usually there's a very strong psychic connection to the mother. It's almost overpowering, like they're trying to please the mother. Sometimes they never can please the mother. Sometimes the mother's completely unavailable. Sometimes there's deception that comes out later, or they carry a family secret for the mother. These are just some different dynamics. Or the mother, you know, there's an abandonment with the father, and the mother has possibly put him down so much that, you know, told lies. You know, there's deception here, okay? Doesn't have to necessarily be the exact mother. It can play out in different ways, but it is in that home of security. It depends on where your moon is, where the sun is, Mercury, Venus, Mars, other aspects in your chart to really get a picture, to get a full picture. But there definitely will be a hard aspect here with the 4th house in Scorpio. And this is where a lot of times the Leo or the Leo rising is one of the oldest child. It's not uncommon, or the oldest of a second group of children. And they take on kind of this, you know, like the mother's emotional baggage. That can be another aspect to this. There just seems to be a heavy weight there, and they're always trying, you know, to find that security, and it's a painful place at times. So this is a great place, though, for the Leo rising as they become parents and as they move into their adulthood, you know, to really rise like the phoenix, to you know, reinvent themselves and be something amazing from those deep lessons. Because in those deep lessons, that's what really makes us who we are. We also have 5th house in Sagittarius, so they love to travel, love to take their kids places, love to have a good time, excellent teachers to their kids, very, you know, very into their children. 6th house Capricorn, awesome hard workers. They can get caught up in those jobs that are on and on and on and on. It's very important that the Leo rising has creativity. You need the creativity in your life, because you are the creative sign, and you need to express that, or you'll build up a lot of anxiety. And with the 6th house in Capricorn, if you get into one of those jobs where you don't have an outlet, that can be a problem, okay? Because Saturn's there, and it can create a lot of stress, although you're very, very hard workers. So that's not a problem. You know how to build, you know how to create systems, you know how to, it's similar in some ways. There's that, you know, I think with the 2nd house in Virgo, the ability to organize and be detailed, you do have that strong ability when it comes to work and values. You want that perfection. And with 6th house in Capricorns, like another, you know, perfectionistic side. 7th house Aquarius. So you guys like to show off your partners, and you guys like to sometimes have really different partners, because it's like, wow, look who I've got. You know, I've got this really weird, eccentric person. Nobody else in the room does, and I'm so cool. But also, this is where I was talking earlier about that ability to cut off, because Uranus is there, and Uranus is sudden changes and detachment. So often in relationships, it's kind of like you're all in or you're all out. Like if somebody, you've lost respect for them, it's really hard to gain a Leo's desire back once they've lost respect for you. Like respect is so huge. And so it's kind of like you get this shut off valve, and you know, it can be interpreted a lot of ways. Some people interpret it as punishment. You know, they're feeling punished from that detachment. But I think your heart is just either so in or so out. So that's some thought on that. 8th house Pisces, this is taxes, this is in-laws, this is, you know, marriage, when you bring those finances together, when you go down and get the bank account together, you know, and put both names on it, you know. There can be deception here. There can be addiction here. There can be gambling here. There can be just a lot of things. I mean, Pisces can go a lot of ways. You know, just gosh, just describing that. There can also be a real psychic ability here when it comes to those type of things, a real knack for knowing. But this is just kind of a hard place because, you know, Pisces can be deceptive. You think it's one thing and it's something else. You know, the main thing is to watch for is getting into addictive type stuff, you know, especially 8th house type stuff, because Pisces can be very addictive. So that's all I'm going to say on that. 9th house Aries. 9th house can represent learning, can represent father, can represent adventure. So you guys are very driven, very competitive. You kind of like to learn your own way, though. You really don't do well like sitting under a teacher. Like, you like to learn your own way because you kind of are like a teacher. So it's hard to be taught. But you guys just do your own thing. You have your own little way of learning. You're very intelligent. Here, there can be some power struggles with father. Just, you know, the lion and the ram here, you know, that's, you know, Aries is ruled by Mars. So there can be, you know, butting heads with that. Again, you know, looking at where the sun is and other placements in your chart. But, and you've got 4th house Scorpio. So you've kind of got this Scorpio Aries thing going on with mom and dad. So there's Mars in there. Okay. So you guys probably know a lot more than the average kid before your time, but that's what also makes you wise to the world, you know. Midheaven and Taurus. So there's the bull. There's Venus. Yeah, you guys are awesome. That's all I'm going to say. You rise to the top in anything you do, and, you know, can be trusted. And once you get a Leo with their heart into it, just get out of their way. They know what they're doing. And, you know, you're like the bull. You'll be there. You'll be loyal. You'll be faithful. 9th house Gemini. You guys can sell anything. Excellent salesman. I've known Leo risings as car salesmen. Excellent top salesmen. You guys are good in the community, good networking, you know how to get in and out of there. You know, you're competitive, so, but you'll get information and use it for yourself. Yeah, you do okay here. This is 11th house stuff. This is your dreams and wishes. You know, you're multi-talented. You have multi-abilities. And 12th house Cancer. So here, you know, kind of again, that mother theme plays out here again. You know, 12th house is hidden secrets. It's our sanctuary. It's our subconscious. It's a worrying about family. It's a worrying about mother, home security, you know, just kind of knowing that, you know, you're going to be able to, you know, lay there at the end of the day out in the sun and not worry, and, you know everything's okay. I think for as powerful as a leader as the Leo rising can be, and for those who think that, you know, all they think about is themselves, you know, the Leo, you know, stamp. They think about themselves because they know how powerful that they are. And they know if they can engage that power and they can encourage and inspire people with them, that they can lead a whole group to the top. So again, there's part 2 of this. And, you know, we've got to let each other be what we are and admire each other. So I admire you, Leo rising, ascendant. If you guys have any questions, please leave below. If you would like a reading, I go into much more detail in reading. I have some awesome specials right now, a 30-minute and a 1 hour. And you can check my website at www.cowgirlastrologer.com. And hopefully next week we will have Virgo rising. Bye, guys.